I was at an evangelism explosion trainers workshop in 1975, 17 years old, 2 years a Christian. And I heard a man preach on the life of Dr. David Livingstone, and a man who said, "Send me anywhere, Lord, only go with me, lay any burden upon me, only sustain me, sever any tie that binds, save that which binds my heart to thyself and thy service." And I made that prayer my own. And I left that weekend and I knew I'd been called by God to do something and to make a difference. And that really directed my life. So I trained as a psychiatric and general nurse, did that for 5 years. And I left nursing, joined the prison service of England and Wales, and was put on an accelerated promotion program and ended up being a prison warden, you would call them here in South Africa. So I spent 25 years of my life in the secular corporate world, very much civil servant government world. And one of the greatest sort of things for me was to find myself at the end of that 25 years. I followed my wife basically to Redding, California. I had no idea I would end up in ministry. I was trying to find a job in probation or something in America just so my wife could live there, because that's what she wanted to do. And I find myself in a church that grabs hold of me, my life, my experience, and says, we have a value for this. And I learned it out there in the marketplace, as it were. You know, my humorous way of expressing is I spent 25 years to get paid to go to church, and now I spend my time kicking people out of the church and saying, hey, this is legal, this is legitimate, whether you're a doctor, nurse, actor, whatever. There is a glory of God in that profession, in that career, in what you get to do. Psalm 27 says, one thing I ask, one thing I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, and there behold your beauty. I don't believe that he said you've got to live in church. I believe he's saying live in the constant awareness of his presence, and in that, see what's beautiful to you. Beauty is an attraction of the soul. And it's tragic that many people have that attraction shut down in their lives, and they end up doing something that they're kind of told to do instead of pursuing what's beautiful to them. Well, I think that that's what God does with us. He wants what's beautiful to me. What do I love? What makes my heart beat faster? And then it's like, okay, God, how do I use that to bring glory to your name? See, if you don't know what's beautiful to you, you probably don't know what you love about you. And if you don't know what you love about you, you rob your neighbor because you love your neighbor as yourself. So the key to that is what's beautiful. See, there are people that what's beautiful is somebody getting healed. What's beautiful is, you know, to the surgeon is, you know, being able to transplant a heart from one body to another. That's beautiful to them. It makes their heart beat faster. For others, it's painting. For others, it's dance. For others, it's bringing justice. For others, it's feeding the poor. For others, it's bringing order. You know, for others, you know, I love order. I love strategy. I just do it. I enjoy it. I love seeing change lives. That's beautiful to me. You know, at times when I was really frustrated, you know, when's my turn? But at the same time, whatever you put in front of me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it well. And so it was never an option for me not to be at the top of my career. Never. It was never a thought in my head that I wouldn't make the top. And I ran a prison. I left before I went any further. But there were times when I was frustrated. But all of those things, 2 years before I left, I got sent to Cambridge to get a degree in management and strategic planning. I trained in that, so I ended up with strategic management on my resume. I trained as a hostage negotiator trainer. I trained as a riot commander. I've done crazy stuff all along the way, and I just grabbed hold of every opportunity. I wanted to make a difference. I was prepared. How was I prepared? Because I can smell bureaucracy. I know what it looks like. I got trained in that world to come into this world. It's actually ridiculous, but it was that's what he did, and he does it for everyone. You know, he did it with Moses. That's what I said yesterday. He took Moses, the only guy who was qualified to do what Moses was asked by God to do, because he was raised in a palace. So he knew the beauty of the tabernacle. When God described it to him, he knew. He knew what plates made of gold and boxes covered with gold and angels that are carved, because he'd come from a palace. And we know what Egyptian palaces were like, with or Tutankhamun and sarcophaguses. He was raised in that. So now he's on top of a mountain and God says, build me a tabernacle. He knows what it looks like because he got him ready. How do people know they have the gift of government, gift of administration? They'll probably be really good at a lot of things. They'll probably be jack of all trades. And I believe it's because God's given them the eyes to see the world from a lot of different angles. And so they can sit in a team and they can see it for the sake of the fivefold, the apostles' viewpoint, the evangelist, the pastor, etc. So that's one of the keys. The difference between the two. See, administration without the supernatural will kill a move of God. It will kill it. It will reduce it down. And it does it because it will reduce it down to what man can do without God. But the supernatural without the gift of administration will not take that move of God to the full potential. It will not pass it to the next generation. The simple way of saying is that the administrator has to partner with the power and the presence of God, and crucially must be a son. Because the picture in Isaiah is the government will be upon his shoulders. A child is born, a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders. What we've tended to do is we've built administration as a peer alongside the body, as this addition, this adjunct. It should be on the shoulders, fully integrated with the body and in total submission to the head. And that is the posture of sonship. And the administrator who isn't a son will turn into an elder brother, and they will control things. So they need to understand power, presence, and be a son.